Hey everyone, I want to share this joke to you that my friend told me yesterday. It's kind of like a story joke. Three men were waiting on Heaven's Gate Street. Peter says, "Okay, guys, pretty much anything goes up here, but whatever you do, never lie, or you will spend the rest of eternity with the ugliest woman in the universe." So they all agree and are admitted in. The first guy makes it a week before he lies about how rich he was on earth. Bam! Right at his side, hold on, Mama. Right at his side appears the ugliest woman he had ever seen. This second guy makes it another couple weeks before he lies about how smart he is. Bam! At his side appears the second ugliest woman in the universe. So the first two guys are walking around with their monsters of women when they see their third friend walking with the hottest woman ever conceived by man. The first two guys said in unison, "How did you land with the babe when we got stuck with this nasty woman?" He nudges the babe and says, "Tell them." She says to the first two guys, "I lied. I lied." I didn't think it was that funny, but I mean, it was like, okay, like, I didn't get it, but she told me to put this on here, and then there's this one, it's called Fred's Note, and I'm going to read this as fast as I can, but still have y'all understand. Old Fred had been a religious man who was in the hospital near death. The family called their preacher to stand with them. As the preacher stood next to the bed, old Fred's condition appeared to deteriorate. I don't know. And he motioned fractionally for something to write on. The pastor lovingly handed him a pen and a piece of paper, and old Fred used his last bit of energy to scribble a note. Then he died. The preacher thought it best not to look at the note at that time, so he placed it in his jacket pocket. At the funeral, he was finishing the message and realized that he was wearing the same jacket that he was wearing when old Fred died. He said, "You know, old Fred handed me a note just before he died. I haven't looked at it, but knowing Fred, I'm sure there's a word or inspiration there for us." He opened the note and read out loud, "Hey, you're standing on my oxygen tube." That is kind of sad, but and funny at the same time, though. Of course, it's not a true story, though. And this is I'm gonna read you this one more, and then I want y'all to comment, subscribe, whatever. So here's the last story. This is a story about a couple. Oh, don't fart in the bed. It says it's a rude joke. This is a story about a couple who had been happily married for years. The only friction in their marriage was the husband's habit of farting loudly every morning when he awoke. The noise would wake his wife, and the smell would make her eyes water and make her gasp for air. Every morning she would plead with him to stop ripping them off because it was making her sick. He told her he couldn't stop and that it was perfectly natural. She told him to see a doctor. She was concerned that one day he would blow his guts out. The years went by and he continued to rip them out. Then one Thanksgiving morning, as she was preparing the turkey for dinner, he was upstairs sound asleep. She looked at the bowl where she had put the turkey innards and neck gizzard liver, and all the spare parts, and a malicious thought came to her. She she took the bowl and went upstairs where the husband was sound asleep and gently pulling back the bed covers. She pulled back the elastic waistband of his underpants and emptied the bowl of turkey guts in his shorts. Sometime later, she heard her husband waken with his usual trumpeting, which was followed by a blood-curdling scream and the sound of frantic footsteps as he ran into the bathroom. The wife could hardly control herself as she rolled on the floor laughing, tears in her eyes. After years of torture, she reckoned she had got him back pretty good. About 20 minutes later, her husband came downstairs in his blood-stained underpants with a look of horror on his face. She bit her lip, and as she asked him what was the matter, he said, "Honey, you were right. All these years you have warned me, and I didn't listen to you." "What do you mean?" asked his wife. "Well, you always told me that one day I would end up farting my guts out, and today it finally happened. But my grace of God, some Vaseline, and these 2 fingers, I thought I got most of them back in." So he put he put the Vaseline up his butthole or something, which is pretty hilarious, I think, because he thought he farted himself. So, those were the 3 stories, and I went on Google and just typed in, funny jokes or hilarious jokes that appropriate. So, that were appropriate. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed my video.